Hello there, YouTube. This is Jessica Giaquinto. I am the author of the debut novel Stand Up Fight Back, which is available for order on Amazon in both paperback and on ebook. And if you have the Kindle Unlimited app, it is available on there as well. I wanted to do a November update. I did film this once before, but that was on, holding it. And it was, late at night. And it's no, can't do it. So I decided I'm going to film my November update here. Again, late at night. The reason that it's late at night instead of during the day is because for the last week or so my husband has been working overnights, so he's been sleeping during the day, so I can't film during the day. And there's nowhere else that's as aesthetically pleasing to look at as here. So that's why I'm filming late at night. But back to my update. This month has been just kind of hectic as far as things that I'm doing. We had a nice Friendsgiving because my parents went to another Thanksgiving and we had one for our friends who don't have any family in town. We did that. And then prior to that, we did a dinner with my husband's aunt, which we do every year. And in that time, I also got my very first Scribbler box, which was very exciting. I got the book that was involved in it. I have it during my unboxing videos. And then I also spent the majority of the month waiting, hoping, and updating to see when my author copies of Stand Up Fight Back would be available. This is one of the 6 author copies of Stand Up Fight Back that I was able to get, and I am super happy that they finally showed up. I ordered them on November 13th. They did not get to me until the 29th. They literally did not ship until the 28th. The day before they were supposed to arrive to me, on the last day. I was pissed. I'm like, I want my books. Please give me my book. I was like, why? Now, I did understand that that Thanksgiving was on the 22nd, but I still was not very happy that I wasn't getting any kind of feedback from it. But that's neither here nor there. The next thing that's kind of happened over November is that I got a new laptop. Now, as you saw in my November wrap-up and December TBR, it looked gray and kind of boring, but I stickered it. And here's what it looks like. All shiny, and it's got nice spongy little ice cream treats and candy. And it's just so me. I love it. It kind of looks like an angry face, which is actually quite fitting. But I've been using this to do backup notes on my books, because as I showed you in a previous video, I have actual physical books that I write my notes in for my series. But a friend of mine actually made a very valid point that it's like, what if something happens to your books? So I've been doing backups. I've been doing backups in my laptop, and I've been writing down extra information. And recently, because I've been reading a lot of adult romance, I have been getting inspired for my vampire series. So I'm combating that a little bit by just working on notes. And I wanted to kind of pose a question to everyone here. I have been thinking of possible themes for the vampire series' titles. Now, with Stand Up Fight Back, it was originally titled Reapers Wanted, and I wanted the series to kind of have something to do with Reapers in it. But I found that it wasn't actually fitting in with what I wanted, and I couldn't think of an ongoing theme with them. So I instead went with Stand Up Fight Back, which is the overarching theme of the series, which is no matter how hard things get, always stand up and keep going in any semblance of that, which is why the series is going to be titled as it is. But with my vampire series, I was having more of a hard time with that, because it's going to be, last I checked, about 20 books. I don't think I could think of enough vampire-related titles for that to actually work. And then I had a brainstorm. if anyone has ever heard of Tristan and Isolde, or of Romeo and Juliet, obviously, they have the names of the two people who are featured in the story as the title. Now, I posed this to both my husband and my good friend Ollie, and they both didn't like it. But, again, this is something that I wanted to post to everyone else. Because if I'm in the minority here where I think this is a great idea, then please let me know. So that I can actually just stop thinking of it as that. But I had the good idea to have it be in this format, because then the titles basically write themselves based off of what the couple is. So the first one that I have is Gustav and Victoria, who is going to be the beginning of this series. And I wanted in the comments below, tell me if this sounds like a great idea for a romance novel featuring vampires, or if this is a bad idea. And if you do think it's a bad idea, I will completely understand, because so far I'm getting nothing but bad vibes from the people who I've told about this. If you think that it's a bad idea, let me know down in the comments and give me some idea of what I could do. I thought about following kind of Lindsay Sand's way of titling books, which is like her Argenu series, Single White Vampire. It's the third book of the series, and each one of her books has something to do with either the word vampire or something to do with the actual act of being a vampire, which is fine because it brands her to her series, so it's completely understandable. But I don't think I could think of names that don't go with the same kind of logic as hers. But again, it's going to be a while before I'm doing this series, but I was thinking ahead. And I wanted to see what everyone thought. So again, down in the comments below, let me know if you like the idea of the two main characters having their names as the title, such as Gustav and Victoria, or if you have another suggestion of what I could do. Again, this is early brainstorming. But again, this is something that I was kind of thinking up while I was doing my backup notes. I've done backup notes for the Reaper series up until book 2, which I have all my notes down for book 2, which I will be getting to an update on that one as well in this video. But I also have a lot of information that I put down for my vampire series, which I have decided is actually going to come after I finish my Reaper series. Now, about me actually switching from the Reaper series to my vampire series. Now, I know that it's going to be a big jump when it comes to audience for it. My Reaper series is predominantly young adult, murder mystery with supernatural elements, as I say in a lot of my videos. The vampire one is adult, romance, bordering on erotica, with some adventure qualities to it. It has a lot of adventure themes in it, but I don't think I can necessarily make it like murder mystery like I did with the Reaper series. But it is going to have some elements to it threaded throughout it, because I do love mysteries, so it is going to have mystery elements to it, but it can't be classified as a full mystery. As far as what I plan to do with it, it's going to be 20 books, so I haven't decided if it's going to be one big arcing story or if it's going to have arcing stories featuring each of the families. I'm kind of leaning towards the arcing stories of each of the families versus an overarching one, because that would be so slow to build over 20 books. Which, right now, it's still sitting at 20 books. It might expand into more as I go. But with everything that I have to plan for it, again, this is something that's going to come after my Reaper series. I'm not going to start writing this until after I finish the Reaper series. Or if I am going to start it, it's going to be at minimum a first draft of the first book. That's it. No edits, just writing out that first draft. I'm thinking of doing it for NaNoWriMo next year, because up until now, I hadn't really thought about doing NaNoWriMo because I didn't understand what it was. And then I started watching people prepping for it this year. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch some of the videos of the people who do vlogs for it and see how I like it. And the idea of writing 50,000 words in 1 month scares the crap out of me, because my original manuscript for Stand Up Fight Back was only 38,000 words. And then I more than doubled it with the rewrite. But it's like, oh crap. And I know it took me longer than a month to write that first one. It took me like a solid 6 months, I think, to actually write that first one. And I know myself, I don't think I do well under pressure. I tend to freak out. But if it's over the course of a month, I think I'd probably be okay with it. But I'm going to give it a shot next year. And I'm thinking of having my first vampire novel's the first manuscript be the NaNoWriMo work. Whether or not I do that is another story. On to the information about the sequel to Stand Up Fight Back. I have promised myself that I would not start this one until January of next year, of 2019. And I'm going to stick myself to that, because I want to start off next year with actually having a plan. Because normally I don't do New Year's resolutions, because I know myself. I don't follow them very well if I just think about them. I know that growing up I always had the idea, it's like, oh, well, I'll lose 50 pounds. And it's like, yeah, that's really going to happen. But this is what I'm going to make 2019 is the year where I actually build myself versus just existing. So I will go more into that when I actually do my 2019 resolutions video, which I do plan to do probably closer towards the end of December. I wanna film that. But again, I am going to start the sequel to Stand Up Fight Back in early January, and I hope to have it done completely edited 100% by June. I think it is. Yeah, by June. And reason being is that I want to be able to write the second and the third book in the series. But again, I will get into more of that in detail in my resolutions video. Again, you can pick up Stand Up Fight Back, which is available on paperback and ebook and on Kindle Unlimited if you want to take a look at it. I will see you all in the next video. Keep being fabulous. Bye-bye!